Let's just give it a couple more minutes. Deborah Lee Morrell from Canada. Yeah, we're Soulogy's, always had Mexico's in the house. Sonia Sandoval. Hola, Sonia. Hablo español un poquito, Tito, pero estoy tratando de aprenderlo. CC Franklin from Portland, Oregon. Well, let's see what she says. Sorry, I've had to create a new password. All right, no rush, no worries. The universe is never late and always on time. And we are the universe, right? All right, we're going to keep going with it. Nepal's in the house. I'm going to have to go back and look at the comments and see how many different countries. The last time I checked Soulogy, Kathmandu, Nepal, Rupa Datal. Sonia says, muy bien. Well, I had to learn to say that because my last name is Spanish, and if I couldn't speak it clearly, I used to get in a lot of trouble. So I learned that line. Rancho Palos Verdes, California. That's Jeremy. Jeremy last one. He'll be on Monday, I think. So, what I was saying is that the last time I checked the demographics of Soulogy, there was, I want to say 72, 73 countries. There's a New Zealander, Diana Beaumont. Man, on this show alone, and we haven't even started yet. Of course, we're starting late, but after 10 minutes, we probably have representation. We got 46 people in the house. We probably got at least 25 countries here. Soulogy's grown. It's not me. It's not Morgan. It's everybody. Just like Abraham Hicks talks about, the vortex that we all form together. And that's what it is, Canandaigua, New York, Caprina Fernandez White Snow. Very cool names, very cool locations. Diana Beaumont's New Zealanders. Can people send a lot of love? Let's talk about that. We are one, Yvette Julie. Priestess. Yeah. There's been a lot of occurrences like what occurred in New Zealand yesterday, and we've got to remain vigilant. We've got to remain vigilant to the truth, and not get lost in. And I know it's hard, not get lost in the illusion. There are powers that are lessening, that have been in control for a long, long time, many centuries, and things are happening. Things are happening. There's going to be some things happen, and we can't get caught up in the pain and the suffering. Divinity's divinity. It can become a distraction when these things happen. We can call them false flags. Some people say, well, how can it be a false flag if it's real and people are dying? How do we know? Sandy Hook, so many other occurrences, Las Vegas. It's not to take anything away from anybody who's physically transitioning at all. Let's see, not sure what's going on. I have a new profile. I have to change it. I got to do it. All right, give me a second. All right. Let's try the last thing. Restart. Device. Okay, that was a big deal, though. You know, this thing in New Zealand, and I can remember when I was. I mean, this is what, 35 years ago. I can remember the same thing happened in a church in a small town in East Texas, a couple hours from where I lived. I can also remember it happening after I woke up 7 years ago, not too far from my house, about 2 miles from my house, and right in the middle of George Bush's neighborhood. And it was, you know, it was crazy because there was a shootout in this affluent subdivision, in this affluent neighborhood, this rich neighborhood. And it was like something out of a movie. There were some shots fired, and hang on. Oh, we turned it down. Test. Let's just turn it off. How about that? Okay, she's going to try one more time. Thank you, whoever said that, to turn the music off. Yeah, I want to tell you about what happened, though. So, you know, I spent most of my time from about, I don't know, 35 to 50 in Houston, Texas. And that's George Bush country. I lived right in the middle of the international energy corridor where all the oil and gas companies were. I was right in the middle of it. Corpus Christi is where I was born, but Houston's where I spent most of my adult years. So they had this big shootout, and, you know, somebody shot something like out of a movie, shot a gas station pump, and it blew up. And I mean, there was this chase and everything. So this all happened. It was on the news. It was in the middle of what I would say was the first part of the awakening. And I personally think it was, you know, a false flag. And so what ended up happening was the next day, 24 hours later, a news station goes out to the site, and they're standing at the gas station, which has been decimated. And the reporter is standing there and says, "Oh, what is this? I just found a backpack," like right in the middle of the parking lot. And he opens up the backpack and finds this guy's ID. And let's see what she said. Hang on. What's opening? I don't know what's happening. All right, let me send her a new link. Let's try this. All right, try that link. Okay, so yeah, so this reporter is like reporting live and finds this backpack after there's been cops everywhere and these big explosions and all this stuff happened, and finds this guy's backpack with his ID, kind of like the 9/11 thing, where they found people's IDs in their wallet that were on the ground mysteriously, just, you know, like the magic bullet with JFK's assassination sitting on the sidewalk. So I'm not taking anything away from Columbine or what happened in New Zealand, but these are distractions. We're divinity. Nothing can kill us. We are sovereign, free, fearless souls, and nothing can harm us. Nothing, not in any dimension, not in any realm, nowhere, no place, no time. We are that. And we're coming into that power now. And yes, we've all had people that have transitioned. And many of us, if we were lucky, we've had people who have come to us from, quote unquote, the other side. And let's see what she says. Gayatri, she says, I just sent you a request from the new account. Don't know what the F is going on. Do I download the app? Joining as guest is not working. All right. Try downloading the app. We're getting to the real part of this whole journey. We're getting to the point now where everything that we went through, all the perceived pain and suffering, all the stories, and I'm not just talking about this incarnation, I'm talking about the the entire thing. If anything, this life has been a summary life that encompassed all of the ancestral stuff, all of our lineage, and not just Earth lineage, but star family lineage. And we're getting to a point now where we're, at a point where it's time to own our divinity. Suzanne Joylyn Richards, you disappeared notifications. Yes, I did. You know why? Because every time we start laying it out there, we get suppressed. I promised myself that I would not start talking about our independent site, about our independent stream, about our independent server again, because every time I have, it's blown up in my face. But we are so close. We are so close now. The universe is shining on us, all of us, in Soulogy, Morgan, Todd, all the aunts and uncles, because we are all that make up this energy that has no doctrine and it has no dogma, is getting reciprocation that is rewarding our heart's intentions, all of us, and we're really close to going out on our own. Here's a comment. I'm not even going to read it first. Christina Papageorgiou. Christ Church is a major earth portal for Christ consciousness. This event, divinely perfect, as it has put Christ Church in the global spotlight to send love, compassion, and healing into the earth grid from this vortex. New Zealand has the first light on the planet, and they are leading the way into 5D. Jacinta Ardern, New Zealand's prime minister, is a female embodying the goddess, so all is on track. Also, two mosques. Hang on. Also, two mosques were targeted, symbolizing the dissolution of false religious institutions, the reemergence of the true church, Christ consciousness. So, thank you for the comments, all the comments. We have to stop giving our power up. We have to take our power. And very recently, the divine masculine energy in all of us that is primarily represented in the physical, in the male incarnations, has landed. And that has created a consequence in each and every one of us to include discomfort. And it's the rule of the road in the ascension. It's a very personal journey, but don't take anything personal. In other words, don't hold anyone responsible. It's all about you. So the good news is the divine masculine energy has landed like the divine feminine did about three years ago. And now we're all coming together. And this is where the holy triad comes into play. This is where the feminine and the masculine energies merge within us and externally as a mirror of us, as within, so without, to create the golden child, to create the third energy, energies such as Soulogy. And there's many, many Soulogies, energies that are non-physical, that are embodied and that are their own consciousness, fed by divine love, fed by the heart's intentions and the intentions of the heart of all of us. And what happens is they begin to explode and expand, and our work becomes much easier. We have done the work. We have lived the many lives and paid the many prices. And that's over now. It's over. The sacrificing and the suffering and the pain is over. It's time to start being and claiming and owning who we are and what we're a part of. And this is the real truth. And it's not coming from Todd. It's coming from Soulogy. And Soulogy is simply a fractal of the universal. It is always adding frequencies to an ever-expanding vibration. Everyone's welcome in this house. Every single person, every elemental, every galactic. Hang on, let me just tell her. No rush, no worries. Our power comes when we let go. When we let go of the stories. And I know it's difficult. when we let go of the labels and we let go of our roles and our relationships. The power comes when we trust the universe enough to say, I know that what I have, I love, and I hold in my heart, but I'm willing to let it go because I trust the universe enough to know that what it has in store for me is something that's good or better with the people I'm with or someone else. Because at the end of the day, we all go to the same place, and we're all familiar with each other, you know? Yeah. Spontaneity, creativity, intuition, imagination, and courage. This is the recipe. And we've all had flashes of it. And the only thing holding us back, and it's not anymore, from exponential growth is owning and claiming our role. Each and every one of us is one piece of an infinite jigsaw puzzle, unique to the universe. There is nothing like me, and there is nothing like you. I am not complete without this universe. I am not complete without you, but you are not complete without the universe, and I am not complete without the universe, and you're not complete without me. And this is where it all comes down. Oneness is oneness. And as Morgan Lee told me a long time ago, the path to oneness is through the road of individuality. Individuality in the great, simple, infinite, beautiful simplicity of infinite intelligence is paradoxical. It's paradoxical. What is up is down. You know, what is round is square. The human aspect by itself cannot understand. But we're not just human. We are all these multidimensional aspects. We're all the galactic and the angelic and the divine essences and the elementals and every single thing we know and don't know, every point of dark and every point of light. But on top of all of that, the human being, the human hybrid soul, is both the mission and the prize. Our gift to this universe is our heart. And I had a conversation, I've talked about it on a couple of shows with a short gray who was in my bed, standing in my bed. I'm like, what are you doing here? The important thing is that gray told me, as a representative of the universe, said, I'm here to assist you. And the specifics of that was assisting the masculine to find his true power. But at the same time, he said, as a representation of the universe, we are here observing you. We are learning from you. And I said, what are you learning from us? And he said, we are learning the power of your heart. We are learning the power of your heart, the power that emotion has on creativity. And that's, believe it or not, what the universe lacks. We are human beings, and we have run from it for so long. And we've said, get me the hell out of here. I just want to go to heaven. I just want to go to nirvana. I just want to get to this place. We are in that place. Our job, as I've learned from the divine feminine, much of it from the physical incarnation that's in my life, Morgan Lee, I have learned all of this information that we're tapping into, and we all do. Don't mistake yourself for 1 second. Don't think anybody's got more than you do, because they don't. All of this stuff that we were so eager to share, that's coming from the collective beehive intelligence, is meaningless. It's the Akashic. And it's meaningless in this incarnation, in this time and space, unless we embody it and put it into action. and put it in motion, because that's what we are. If you look up the definition of inertia, and I'll say spiritual inertia, I think it's the second definition. And it says, because inert gas is one that doesn't move, right? But if you look at the second definition, it says inertia. I think it's a physics type of definition, and it says an energy that's moving unencumbered, moving forward, always moving. Okay, this is who we are, what we are, and what we're a part of. This is what we're doing. We're expanding the outer breadth of Mother Creation. Aside from all the differences of separation, aside from the cultural impact, the religious impact, the color of our skin, even the lineage of our star family, whatever the case is, it doesn't matter. None of that stuff matters. It's just a story. And now we're all coming together. But it's not anyone outside of us going to do it for ourselves. We've got to do it for ourselves and for the universe. We all want to serve the collective, and we do that by serving ourselves. We do that by stop pointing the fingers, stop making excuses, and stop lying to ourselves and distracting ourselves with what? Oh, they're not woke up. Oh, they did this wrong. Oh, they don't get that. No. It's all about us. Another thing I learned from the divine feminine, much of it from the physical incarnation, the divine feminine that's in my life. If you know it, why you got to say it? If you know it, why do you have to say it? The language, Tower of Babel, if you know that story. Language was created. There was some intent there for separation, to convolute things, to distort things. But at the same time, nothing can be created that doesn't contain what is the only real thing, and that is purity, pure love, the God-Goddess seed. And so no matter what religion it is, no matter what country, no matter what color your skin is, no matter what happens to anybody, how traumatic, doesn't matter. There is a common denominator that is in all of our lives that we're always connected to and always have been. And this is the time that we rise. So let's, oh, I sound like a preacher. Let's take our focus off of anything external and take everything into ourselves as if we are the God or Goddess that controls it all. That by our very will, from our heart and our intentions, that we can change this world, because I'm telling you, that's the power that we have. So if we say, for instance, oh my God, this horrible event happened, and how could they do that? And we need to do this. I've seen all kinds of posts. Guess what? We're creating that. We're furthering that. We're furthering the fear and the separation. What's happened now is we're like a cowboy who's breaking in a wild horse. And that horse has been bucking and bucking and bucking. And now it's starting to work in unison with us. So we can control this sacred sexual vibration that is the core of our essence and create heaven on earth. We are that. We are heaven on earth. And it's time for us to own it. It really is. It's time for me to own it. It's time for me to own my role in a divine conscious union. It's time for me to own my role as a caretaker of Soulogy. And each and every one of us has the same type of mission within the mission, within the mission, within the mission. Each one of us can claim our divinity. And when we do, and we fear nothing, we fear no death, then this world changes. And it doesn't change like a ship that moves real slow. It changes instantly. Okay, here she comes. She's only 43 minutes late, but she's here.
I'm so sorry.
It's
I'm so
okay, man.
sorry.
We've been having a good time. We've just been talking. Everything's cool, right?
Oh my
I'm gonna turn off.
God, this was.
It's okay. It's all good. What did I tell you? The universe is never late and it's always on time. Do me a favor. It's okay. Listen, anytime we've had technical problems, we've always had incredible shows. I've been channeling for 30 minutes, and I know this is going to be an incredible show. I'm going to pull up your incredible transmissions, and we can get started. What I want you to do, though, are you on a pad? Just lower it a little bit so we can see more of your face, more of your beautiful angelic face. Okay, there you go.
Better?
Yes, that's good. That's good.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. So just take a deep breath. I know you're a practitioner. Everything's cool. We got 55. Go figure. Ascended Master, 55 in the house.
Oh, wow.
We've already got 189 comments. I just want to say this is our 840th production with Be Live, and we've done at least 60, 75 more on Facebook Live in the early days. But 840, that's a 3, which is a big number for me and for everybody. And we've had something like 225,000 engagements, comments, likes, and that type of thing. So I want to thank everybody for your continued love, support, and contributions to keep everything going. Have faith. We are the transitive verb to trust and believe, and we have an incredible show that's about to happen. So let me just welcome Gayatri to Soul Speaks 5D. Thank you for honoring us with your presence and sharing space with us today.
Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for all the work that you do. You connect so many people. It's something we all need. So thank you.
Well, it's not just me. I'm the one that gets out here and talks. Yeah. There's no way I could have scheduled the 80 shows Morgan scheduled for March, but there's a lot of other people involved too. But I thank you for what you're saying, and you're very welcome. So as I sit here and drink some ginger beer, which is Australian, because it brings me closer to her while she's gone. I'm gonna ask you, or if you would like, I can actually read your bio, the text you gave me, or you can tell everybody. It's up to you. Whatever you're more comfortable with. You're here with your brothers and sisters. There's nothing to fear. You've got full support.
Yeah, I know. The first question you ask is, how did you get into all of this? And and my story is nothing new. It's the same as everyone else. It was not easy. It was very, very challenging. And yes, it started for me in 1995 when I accidentally enrolled for a Reiki workshop. And I had no clue what I was going to do there. I thought it was some kind of a meditation class that I was attending.
Yeah.
And well, went through the whole thing, not knowing what he was talking about or what energy was and what healing was. But I just sat through it and I said, okay, I can do something new. And so after every level in Reiki, you have to do the 21-day healing on yourself. And level 1 didn't do much for me. But when I did the level 2 is when it changed my whole life. Sort of, took a 360. My whole life crashed in front of me. It was like, oh, what do I do now? Because this is not my reality. And there's something else. I started having lucid dreams every night. I would meet beings who I never seen before, and they would say they are from the Pleiades and Arcturians and Andromedans and Orions. And I was like, okay, I think I'm going mad because I don't know of any of these things. I would see people who've passed on and they would ask me to help them. And I said, I can barely help myself. What do I do for you? I don't know what to do. So it was hell in one sense. Everything was falling apart. And at the same time, there was something else coming together. And that was fascinating because I had never experienced anything like that before. There was a whole world on one side that was just coming together for me. And I saw myself on spaceships and I started writing my dreams. I have a journal. So I write my dreams and I make sketches of what I've seen just in case I forget later on. So I could share a little bit of just the sketches that I've made, like when my whole world was falling apart and everything was coming together, this symbol was given to me in my head. I have it tattooed here
Hang on one
on my.
second. I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna put you on. Go ahead. Show us again. No, when was this? Was this in the 90s?
Yes, 95 to 99. Everything was falling apart and everything was again being reassembled for me. So in 1998 is when I received this symbol in my head. And that was the worst time of my life because I was confused. There was chaos. I walked out of my marriage. I was back in my father's house and I had a small baby. He was 1997. He was 7 years old. And it was total doom and gloom. I could not see anything in my future, and there was the past or the present was all falling apart. So when all this was sort of crumbling, there was all these things coming in. I would get messages and I was shown visions, and I was totally confused. I didn't know what to make out of it. Honestly, I thought I'm going mad. I spoke to
Yeah,
a few people.
you were a way shower's way shower. You were a pre-first waver.
I was falling apart, and I spoke to one or two people and they said, you need to see a psychiatrist because this is not right and things like these don't happen. And yes, I agreed with that at that time. I said things
Of
like these
course.
don't happen, but it seems real. It's
Yeah.
very real, and I
Yeah.
know that it comforts me. It this is what I have to do, but I don't
Yeah.
know how and when. And right now I'm in the middle of this chaos. How am I even going to get out of it?
Now
So
this is in the late 90s.
95, 95,
So
96,
so
97.
okay. So did you know anything about the word ascension or global
No,
awakening?
nothing.
Now
I didn't even.
you're also in you're in India, is that right?
Mhm.
Okay, so you're also in India, which we know has some strengths that the West doesn't have, but also with everything, there's always the opposite polarity, right? So you couldn't talk to anyone without
No
them
one.
telling you, like so many of your brothers and sisters that came after you that ended up in psych wards or jails. Now, let me ask you, in those early years, what face of the universe was speaking to you the loudest? Was it galactic?
Galactic, yes. And it was in so many forms. It was like clairaudient message. I was shown visions, lucid dreams. I was taken to different astral realms where I saw myself rescuing children. I was doing more work when I was sleeping than what I was doing while I was in my waking state. And that was all new. It has to
Yeah,
take you out of your mind because it's something you don't know.
yeah.
There was no one to guide me or tell me what was going on with me. I just had to blindly trust and go with it.
Let me ask you a question, or maybe it's a confirmation because I already know the answer for myself, and everybody has to have their own truth. But would you say, based on your experience, that no matter what's happened to us, no matter what we've experienced and what challenges we've had, when we're in dream state, we're working our asses off. We are doing the work. We are not just sleeping. And
No.
what? Yeah.
And last night was just one of those nights. That's why I was happy when you gave me the 11:30 time. I said because most nights I don't know how I'm going to wake up in the mornings. I wake up tired and I know I've done a lot of work. So yeah, and it's changed now. It's slowly, coming together. And what I realized was that you have to surrender. When things like these happen, no one understands you. even you yourself don't know what's
Yeah.
going on. So that
Yeah.
can be even more damaging to your psyche.
Yeah.
And you think you're going crazy, but something just kept me going. There was this invisible force that spoke to me in words in my ears.
Who is that?
I
What was that invisible force? What would you say that was? I'm just curious. Is that your higher self?
I
Was it the universe? What would you say?
I didn't know of these words earlier, you see. So now I can say it was the universe, it was my higher self, I think. I think it was my higher self that sort of just led me and just kept reassuring me, just keep going, let everything go. And I resisted a lot, because how can you just let it
How
go?
can you
Your
not?
reality.
You know what's so interesting about so many people's journeys, and yours actually sounds a lot like Morgan's. But what's so interesting about it is, on the human level, these crazy things are happening. Like you're leaving a relationship or a marriage, or you're homeless like I was, or you're whatever. These crazy things are happening, but you're connected to that voice that you're talking about. And I just want to say this to everybody that's here. Uh, give yourself some credit, because you listen to that voice. That's
Yes.
you. In a sense, that's you. And we listen to that voice. And we were alone, but now we're not. Now there are mirrors in the physical incarnated right before your eyes, just like I'm looking at you and you're looking at me, and all these people here, brothers and sisters, and we're all in this together now, and we're not crazy.
No, we're not crazy. People may think we are, but that's all right. It works well, because the ones that think you're crazy stay away from you, and you need them to stay away from you. So, so lucky for me, I was not homeless. My parents were there, but then again, there was like, what do I do? Where do I go? I didn't know anything, nothing at all. And I had done my Reiki masters, and I was constantly behind my head was that there is more. So I went and did a few other healing modalities, crystal healing and Keylontic science,
Now,
Kathara
this is
healing.
still in the late 90s. This is still the 90s.
This was somewhere in no, from 95 to 99. I had different galactic experiences. 99, from 2000 to 2004, I had to put an end to it. I said I cannot manage my real life and my astral life, and all of that happening at the same time. So from 2000 to 2004, I just said, please stop it. I cannot take it anymore. I
Yeah.
need to figure out what's happening. So it all stopped. Everything stopped. From 2005, I had cleared off most of the things that I was struggling with. Challenges were still there, but most of it was clear, and then I could
Challenges
rest.
are still here.
Yeah. So 2005, yes, again, on its own, it started, like
Yeah.
clairaudient. Then I was getting very, very clear instructions, like go here, do this, do
Yeah. Yeah.
that. And
Grid
I
work.
was I was not too happy with the instructions, because it was not something that I had planned. And then after resisting a bit, I realized it's best if I don't go by my plans, because they have failed miserably.
You
And
know,
I can
that's,
trust.
I'm so glad you're saying all this, because so many people have gone through this, and it's very important.
Yeah, you
And I
have to
would
at
tell,
some point
you're
let
right.
go, let go.
Well, but you realize that you have to listen. Well, that it's there's more ease and grace if you listen to this voice, which is
Yes.
in some cosmic way your voice, or the universal voice, or whatever, the you, me, we, and it. And if you do it, you are taken care of everything. But it doesn't make sense in
When it's
this in the world we thought that it was, that we thought that was. And I've been saying for months, if it doesn't make sense, do it. Because
yeah,
it,
yeah.
yeah.
It nothing makes sense. It's like you have to question why am I being instructed to do this? This is not what I want. And then things stop. When you're resisting, everything stops. But when you're going with it and you say, okay, I can go with it, I can trust it, and everything falls into place magically. I can say that for myself. I have experienced miracles in my life on so many accounts, and on with so many twists and turns. Every time I've resisted, I have been through hell. But when I've let go and I've allowed the force to work for me, it's been magic. It's worked out so perfectly well that I could have never ever imagined or ever done anything like that before. Never. Never.
Can you talk to us about letting go of being a mother, a parent, letting go of being a partner, letting go? And what I mean by that is, because I think what's happening now, a lot of practitioners like yourself have come on since the first of the year, and they've said, God, I can't believe so many people are waking up. They're having these Kundalini experiences, and this is happening, that's happening. What's happening to them is the same thing that happened to you in 1995. Same thing that happened to me in 2011. It's the same thing, okay? So one of the things, I think, or not one, but the hardest thing, the deepest part, seems to be letting go of those closest to us, those things that we held on to the most, that kept us going, such as being a father, such as being a husband, such as being a good friend, such as doing the right thing, even when it hurts you, and sacrificing and all that stuff. So did you have to go through that? Did you have to let go of all that?
Did I have to go through that? I died many times. I absolutely will say that, because it is not easy to give up your child. It is not. And that was the only thing that kept me going. So I hurt a lot of people in this process, and I'm sure till now my son has not gotten over it. He has not forgiven me totally, I know. He understands what I do. He tries very hard. He's awake too, so that's good for me. He has not been able to get over it. But you see, while I was going through this, let me tell you a short incident that happened with me. I had made up my mind that the day I let go of my son, I will die. And I was convinced of it. I said, okay, I had reached a point where I was sick of feeling sorry for myself. I was tired of crying. How long can you go on and on saying, oh, poor me, why me, why me? One fine day, I was like, okay, I need to change the why me. I'm sick of crying. I'm sick and tired of this whole thing just not working out. I'm going to say, try me. I changed why me to try me. And I said, okay.
That's the best meme I've heard in a long time.
Yeah.
Instead of why me, try me. Yeah.
Try me. I said, okay, if everything has to go, I can let it go. And this is not working out for me. I'm not happy. I don't want to live anymore. If there's nothing there, I'm ready to die. And I was convinced that if the day I let go of my son, I will die. I will drop dead, physically drop dead, because there was nothing else. And so just when I was thinking of all this, crying my eyes out, and I said, oh, I've got to do it. How am I going to do it? And I said, okay, I can do it now. The minute I did that, this voice again said to me, you know what? He does not belong to you. Why are you crying? He's not yours. You've given birth to him, but he does not belong to you. So why are you holding on to it, like for your life? He said, because I'm going to die if I let him go. I said, whoever this voice is, I said, don't mess with me. You don't know what it is to be a mother. You don't know what it is to let go. And you're telling me I don't own him.
Yeah. You're telling God, you're telling the God goddess, that source, you're telling the universe,
yeah,
You don't know what I'm going through, right?
I said, I've given
Yeah.
birth to him. He is a part of me. I
Yeah.
own him.
Like I
And
know
I said,
something you don't know. I
yeah.
love that.
So I
But we've
said,
all been there.
okay.
We've all been there, and that's my point. I'm not laughing at you or making fun of you.
No, I
We've all
know.
been
I
there.
know.
We
I know.
do
I
it
can
with
laugh
each other,
about it now.
right? We do it with each other though. Like you're a practitioner, you hear it. People want to, and I did it when I met Morgan. I was like, Morgan, you don't know what happened to me. This happened to me. That happened to me. I'm a good person, but this happened to me. She's like, do you want to talk about it or do you want to clear it? I mean,
Yeah.
this is the frequency and the beings that we are. We're not shackled by whatever has happened to us. I commend you and I applaud you and I give you props for coming out so early. I mean, I don't know if you had a choice in that, but I mean, 1995, most of the people that come on the show in 900 episodes, it's 2012, 2010, 2009, 2014.
Well,
But
I'm a slow learner, I'll say. I go very,
slow
very
learner.
slow. I'm like a turtle. I slowly go through the things. So the funny part is when I decided, I said, okay, if you say I don't own my son, I'm going to let it go and I'm ready to die. So I'm going to die right now and I am all prepared for it. And I said, okay, take him. And I was expecting to die the very next minute, fall, drop dead. But nothing like that happened. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, I'm not dead. The opposite was happening. I was happy. There was my heart opened and there was this love flowing. There was tears flowing. There was everything flowing out of me. And I said, wait, this is not right. I'm not supposed to feel happy doing this. I was meant to die. But on the contrary, I was feeling guilty about being happy to let go. And I said, what kind of a person am I? I'm feeling happy. I've just let my son go. I was meant to die. I'm not dead now. What do I do? And so, okay, nothing else after that. Everything was fine. I came back to my parents and again the incident started. And then in 2011, again, major shifts in the sense that I was given a direct initiation because all throughout there was this I need to know more, there is something there for me which needs to come to me. And I can say that every time I have asked, I have received.
Yes.
That's the
Everybody hear
reason.
that. Everybody hear
Every
that.
time
Yeah.
you ask, you receive. You've just
Yes.
got to know what to ask for. Because there have been times when I've asked for things which have not been too good for me.
Well, yeah. Well, but you still got what you asked for.
Oh, yes, yes.
So, but I think let's just reiterate that because look, I've talked about it on the shows many times. I've had this come to what we say in the West. We're going to have a come to Jesus meeting. Like, that's where you get everything on the table. And I would tell the universe, what the F is going on? I am following that voice, the same one you're talking about. And I'm broke and I'm living on the street. And what's happening? And every time I asked with that emotion, it always came through. And I knew that I couldn't get to that point and continue to have the results. I knew I had to equalize it and balance it. How did you get to a point where you're at now? You went through all of that. 2011 came. I'm sure you started to see and hear about the awakening and ascension and being in social media and in groups. Plus, you're a practitioner, so I know you heard things from your clients, plus your own
Yeah,
transmissions.
I
How
finally
did you make?
got onto the internet. I got myself a computer. I first thing I did was I got in touch with healers and psychics from all over the world. Got healings done, soul readings done to confirm everything that I was going through because I said I need somebody else to reassure me that everything that I has just happened is does actually exist because
Yeah,
I've not really made up a whole reality and living in some hallucination
yeah,
world. So 2011 I got a direct initiation from the galactics, and this is the sketch.
Let me see. Hang on. Let me put you on the camera. Hang on.
So there was
Hold
this
it.
being, and this is me. And so this, I got two initiations at this time. One was in dream state, and one was when I was meditating a few months after this. This being came to me and gave me this ball of light. It was white, golden, liquid kind of light, and said, here, take this, and this is what you use from now, and use it to heal. You have to heal yourself, heal everyone who comes to you, and once you've done what is needed, you will get another initiation, and that's when you have to start teaching it.
Can you show us that picture again? Can you show us that picture again? You have the whole screen. So you have the whole screen. I took myself off. Can you move it closer?
I got a very good confirmation at when this happened, you know, a very, very important message. Because when they were giving me this, I had again to, I question everything. I question everything. I have to know my own truth. I don't take anyone else's truth for you know, for real, in the sense that it's your truth. I need to know it the way I need to know my truth. So till I don't experience it, I don't 100% go by it.
Yeah.
So I asked them, I said, okay, I can use this. What do I call it? And the important message was, in fact, they were a little frustrated with me asking so many questions. And they said, what is it with you human beings? You want to label everything. Why is it that you need to have labels for everything? You don't need labels. Just do it. And you will know. You will know what to call it. You will know what to do with it. Don't look to put everything in a box or to put brackets around everything. So I said, okay, I will use it. And this was magic, because when I started doing healings for my clients with this energy, I got instant results. Instant results. Things started moving around for me. People started coming to me, and there was a few who maybe didn't get instant results, because then again, it's like, depends on how much you're willing to allow things to work for you. And that is one of the main reasons why healings don't work for people, is because they want instant gratification sometimes, or most often they're not willing to make the changes. And I make it very clear to people now, is that if you're not willing to cooperate with what comes through for you, and if we don't see results, maybe in 1 or 2 or 3 sessions, maybe I'm not the one for you.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to go see someone else.
That's what Morgan says. Morgan's been doing this for 18, 20 years, and she says 3 times, that's it. You know?
Yeah,
because as a healer, you're really just showing people what they can do for themselves.
You just need to show them this is the way, and you help them sort it out, and the energies help. You see, when I do the healings, and even when I'm doing these automatic drawings now, I don't do it. It's not me.
No.
I say that all the time. It's not me. I'm just the instrument, and it works through me. It works through me. Don't ask me how, because when I asked how, they said just do it. So trust and let it happen.
You know, isn't that the intel, the purest intel? I remember 7 years ago when I left my home and everything turned upside down. I went on the streets, and I just kept hearing, "Don't think, just do. Just do what you're told." And you're in this
mind out.
Yeah, you're like, because on the human side, you're in this thing where it's like everything you're doing, everyone's telling you you're crazy. What you're doing is crazy, but you keep following this voice. And I kept hearing that one thing. It was in my early writings. I kept saying it over and over. At the end, I would say, "Don't think, just do." It wasn't me saying it. I was being told that. Don't think, just do what you're told, you know?
Yeah. So you then do what you're told, and miracles start to happen.
Yeah.
So which is good. And so where was I? Yeah,
Well,
life was going on. I was doing my work, and 2012 was very significant. I went down south. I One of my friends, she's a healer, invited me to join her in her healing center. That's where I met a lot of people from overseas. I have a lot of friends now and clients from Switzerland. They're all watching, and France, Belgium, Italy, lots of people. So, yeah, getting on with all of that. Most of the things that have come to me have happened spontaneously, and that's how I work as well.
so where did the dragons come in?
Yes,
And
that's.
and and let me I don't have them in order, and I hope that's okay, but I know it's
No,
okay.
that's okay. You can put any one of them. But to start with, how the dragons came up was again a spontaneous awakening with the dragons. Uh, yeah, I was doing a clearing for the land, but that some incident happened in my house where somebody tried to break in, and it felt very violating to my entire presence. So I decided to clear the land. And I sat in meditation and I cleared the land that my house is on. I cleared the house and I set up new, stronger boundaries. And just when I finished doing this clearing and this meditation with the land, um, in about 5 minutes, I could sense, like energies around me. And for a second, I thought maybe I've done something wrong because they were really forceful energies. So for a minute, I was like, oh, I hope I haven't done something wrong here. And I could physically feel them, next to my skin. And I asked, I said, who are you? Have I done something wrong? Have I called on the wrong people? And they said, no, we are the dragons. And I was like, okay, dragons, but I don't know you. And they said, we know you and we have work for you. And you called us when you connected to the land. And that was the starting. I was like, okay, what am I supposed to do? How are we connected? So this was in late October, this last year, end of October. So it's just been October, November, December, January, February, 5 months, not 6 months now. I'm new to them, and they clearly said to me, I have to work with the land. We are connected to the land. That's what they said. So dragons are elemental beings, yes, just like us human beings. We have all the elements. The dragons have elements too. There's ascended dragons. There's dragons from on every dimension. So it's not just the elemental, the fairy, or the crystalline beings. There's dragons on every dimension.
Are
There's ascended dragons, there's galactic dragons. They can shapeshift, they can time travel. They help us. Once they connect with you, they help you stand in your power.
yeah.
They are grid keepers. They take care of, they are like guardians of the land. They're connected to ley lines. They
Yeah.
are connected to grids. And they even mentioned that recently a lot of people have been waking up to the dragons, especially the ones who have been doing grid work. They've had spontaneous activations with the dragons, and the rest that will be drawn to the dragons will need to sort of be initiated into the energies.
Yeah.
So they said, I have to be doing that. They said that again, I said, I don't know how to do it. And they said, you'll know when we work with you. When the people come, there will be specific people who will come to you for this. And there's been a lot of people who have
Let
come.
me ask you this. Let me ask you this. I was called to Kauai, which many people say is Lemuria, Mu, uh, and I had just been to Sedona, and I thought Sedona, as I understood it from what I was receiving, that's where Soulogy would really expand and launch, right? And it was a very masculine experience. And I was told, come to Kauai. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know there was a place called Kauai. And I came, and from the moment I came, I started having, well, right before actually, I started having these dragon experiences. And they were very feminine, very powerful, very much of a creation force. And one of the things that I got from this was, and I've never said this really, they were here. Like when you're talking about they're from all dimensions and everywhere, right? Ascended dragons and such. I was told, and not that I'm right or anything, I just want to see if there's some type of connection here. I was told that they were here at creation, that they were like the keepers. And it really struck me. And I had some incredible experiences with them over about 5 or 6 weeks. You know, it's, and what I wanted to say is it started at the end of October. And you just said it was 6 months ago, 5, 6 months ago when
End
this
of
happened.
October, 27th of October to be precise.
I came to Kauai on the 27th of October.
Oh, wow. Oh,
There's no
okay.
coincidences. There's no coincidences, right?
No, no, no. So yes, they have been, they are not bad. They are not as
No,
people have
no,
portrayed
they're
them
not.
to be. They were trapped only because they were so powerful. They have the power to transform, to transmute, to transmigrate, and that's what this my purpose. This code, coming back to it. Sorry, it translates to bringing messages from the universe and sharing it here on the planet. So this is the the channeling line, and this is my purpose, is to channel messages and share it with all, is to channel the energies and connect it to the earth grids. And they said I have to be working on different grid lines. I've done 2 sessions with 2 different people. One was with Merita and one was with another healer, where we released some dragons that were trapped. So with Merita, it was in Israel. In with Frank, it was they were trapped in black goo, if you know what that is. A lot of them have been released now, and work still needs to be done. They are here to work with us to raise the vibrations, to raise the frequency of the planet, because we are sent together. No one is higher or lower than anyone. We're all in it doing our bit till the time we know any better. We they clearly showed me how to clear the land and how to call on different dragons, and to connect to ley lines to assist, use them to clear the land masses. They showed me how to activate the dragon flame and to connect to people through their hearts, to connect to the force within them. So connecting to your dragon guide. And they started coming to me through paintings. I've never painted before. I'm improving, I'll say. I can see that, so I can say it. I've never painted before, but now it's like they come in so many different forms. I didn't know there were so many. With Merita, it's been wonderful. She brings me the rose and a dragon. So the next day, or soon after she does the rose initiation with me, I see the dragon, and then I I don't sketch it. It's like automatic sketching. So it comes through really quickly, and then I paint it. They choose the colors, they choose everything. And this is something I always wanted to do. This is again one of the things where I can put in my ask and receive. I always, as since childhood, was fascinated by paintings, and I said if I ever have to paint, it has to be something more meaningful than just to paint anything that you see. And it's happening now. So they
There's a
come
few.
through.
There's a few questions. One of them is: are you communicating with the elder dragons? Are they seem to be mostly feminine?
I'll just say this much. It's very early right now. It's been just 5 months. I'm still learning with them. I'm still going through initiations with them. I'm just going with however it's unfolding for me. So it's not something that I want. I can sit here with a pen, with a pencil and a paper in front of me, and nothing comes through when I want it to. So it's when they want to come. So it's them that are coming through as with messages and paintings. There've been a few male dragons like this one.
How did you make that eye that way? It looks like there's a light on it.
Ah, yes, that's a trick. So the rainbow that you see is not painted there. I have a rainbow catcher in my window. And one of the days when I was making him, the rainbow light from the rainbow catcher from my window was on the table and was around him. So I just adjusted the rainbow reflection on the eye and took a picture. So that's not
Wow.
me.
How did now? You're a practitioner. You work with people, right? You work with people. What role do the dragons play um, in that respect? What role do they play?
I can tell you from my own experience. When they connected with me, they shook me up. They shook everything about me. I was being complacent with the way I was working, complacent about everything. They came in. They just cleared everything for me. It's like when there's never any dull moment ever since they've come. I'm constantly painting. There's constant learning happening with them because when they are coming through as through the drawings, they talk to me all the time. They tell me things. They've said we help you with standing in your power, and that's what you have to teach people as well, is to stand in your power. And when we are around, there is no fear, there is no darkness, there is no confusion. I have absolute clarity now even when I talk to someone or I see something, I understand it better. It's like instant understanding of things. They bring in so much transparency. They have helped me with removing, limitations from my own belief systems, which was still there. I've been able to see so many things about myself that I needed to clear out.
Have,
They
have
clear
they?
out distortions from every level, basically physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. All distortions are cleared. They expand your energies and they take you forward, because once they come in, they make sure you get on with your mission, and there is no stopping you then.
How? I'm a big believer that as the individual goes, so goes the collective. So whatever's coming into you is meant for you, but there's some type of universal truth for the collective. And I think that's what so many people have done over the last few years when they speak their truth and write their poetry and do their videos and so on. Is there a message in your mind for the collective that the dragons are bringing?
They've brought through a lot of messages with the paintings, but I can ask them right now if there is anything that they need to convey for everyone who is on the
That
show.
was
And
that was my next question. Could you connect with them now? And
I can, and okay. So yeah, they are happy to join us, and they're happy to see that so many people now acknowledge them. They are grateful. They are very honored and grateful to all the human race, because it's time now that we join forces with them. They have waited for many, many, many hundreds of years to join forces with us. They say right now, everyone that's watching or that could be watching later needs to know that I think that's a universal message for everyone, is that you need to put your mind aside, open your hearts, and operate from your heart. The fifth dimensional and above now flows through the heart. The codes, the energies, everything that we are receiving now is coming through our hearts. It's no longer a time for making intentions or waiting for something to happen. It's a time for instant manifestation. Anything that you project out from your heart with pure intention will manifest instantly. There is no waiting now. There
yeah,
is no waiting. Everything is happening as you speak. So be careful of what you say.
yeah,
Be careful of what you think, and make sure you are mindful of all that you are projecting out, because it can damage it can damage you in the process as well. So make sure your intentions are clear and precise, and manifestation is happening now through the heart center, and instant. There is no waiting.
yeah,
And anyone who is connected to their dragons, they would like to say they are honored for acknowledging their presence, and they wish to join forces with more human beings as we proceed from here. And there will be many more who will come on as our journeys unfold.
wow,
So they're waiting, and they've started the work. It's the humans that need to catch up with them.
yeah, wow, wow. How do people get in touch with you? Where are you available on the internet? Website, Facebook, or how does
No, I
people
don't.
get in touch with you to do a session with the dragons and yourself?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, and I'm on Instagram as well. As you know, I've been in hiding. I don't talk much about it, and not too many people know about me except my clients now and a few people. So through Facebook and through Instagram and my email, which I can put maybe in the comments later.
Yes.
And I look forward to many more dragons coming up, because wherever we are, we need to activate that force from the land that can start working. You see, that's how it works. Where we are, we exchange codes with the land, and when we exchange codes with the land, we in turn exchange codes with the crystalline grade. We exchange codes with the heart of Mother Earth, and we exchange codes with all the elemental beings, and that's when they can that's how we show them that we acknowledge them, and they can come up and start working with us. So it's
Yeah.
time to start waking up with nature, start waking up with everything that's sustaining us, because we're not alone, we're all connected.
Yeah.
No one is here by themselves, and no one is bigger than anyone. So every small gesture counts. Everything counts.
Yeah. My my experience with the dragons, it's really funny because I was here for 6 weeks, five or 6 weeks. I actually came on October 27th, the day that you had this happen to you. And that's when I got to Kauai. So Morgan didn't come till December the 7th. So it was about 6 weeks later. And so once she came, we started to have a lot of Lemurian dimensional experiences. And about a month went by, about a month and a half. And we went to the north side of the island where there is what they call Puff the Magic Dragon, like the song. There's a formation in the mountain that looks like a dragon with an eye and the whole 9 yards. And I really never looked at it. So we were about to leave one morning, and I had been witness to aspects entering Morgan's body, Mother Goddess, other aspects of her and such, were actually came into her, right? And I'd never had it happen to me. And what I want to point out is that all of the dragon interactions I had were feminine dragons. But this one morning we were about to leave. We were in a place where we didn't have any money. We barely had enough to go find a place. We were looking for a place. We didn't know where we were going to go. It was 9:30 in the morning. We had to check out by 10. And I sat on the couch, and this dragon came into my body. And it was a masculine dragon. And I thought I was going to vomit. It was so powerful.
Yeah,
And about 2 days later, we went to the beach. We were gifted a place to stay for 5 days on the beach by somebody that follows Soulogy. So we walked out to the beach, and I looked at the dragon. I looked at the mountain that was a dragon, and it was so incredible. It was so incredible because everything that you're saying right now is what I was feeling. And that was to connect to nature, to the land. And what I understood was that it was not just the earth. It was nature as in universal nature, you know? It was a very powerful thing. And I've never had that happen since, but it was incredible. So I believe there has to be some meaning to the fact that this happened to you on October 27th. I came on October 27th here. Not that I'm anything special or you're anything special, just like the dragons told you, everyone's the same. But I believe that the dragon energy came in during that time period and is affecting many people. And I love what you said too, last comment, is that they want us to step into our power and own who we are and what we're a part of.
Speak our truth and live it. Live it. So yeah, when they come, it's very powerful. I can sometimes sense my whole body going, expanding, and sometimes the breath is strange. It's like I sniff. It's funny because that's not how we breathe. It's like the dragon breathing through you. Sometimes when I work for a long time on one painting, I can see that dragon, embodying me. And it's interesting how they work. So yeah, a lot of people are waking up to this power, and it's ours. It's not coming. It's not external. This power has always been with us. So all we're doing is reuniting or reconnecting to our own power. We're not getting it from anywhere else, and they've always been there. It's what you acknowledge and what you can accept and what you can allow. That works through you. That's how the universe works. I've had so many beings work through me. It's different.
Here's another comment of validation from Christina Papajoju. Since October, here we go again, October. Since October, all my clients being initiated as sovereign rulers of Nova Gaia have all had a guardian dragon assigned to them for healing, protection, and support. Wow.
Yeah, Christina is in Australia. She mentioned that to me.
She mentions too that October 27, 2018 is a 3. And we do know that the math in the sacred geometric in this new quantum phase is all 3, 6, 9. It's all the 3, you know, no more 1 + 1 = 2. I'd love to have you back.
I'd love to be back. I have so many other things to talk about, so I'd love to be back.
I'd love to have you back. Well, you know, I'm just we're just setting appointments or shows for April, and I'd love to hang out longer, but I've got 6 shows tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to go to sleep. And I just moved.
No, it's okay. I wasted a lot of your time in the starting.
No, you didn't waste any time. This is, you know, I've been telling Morgan and for, I don't know, weeks now. I get off every show and I'm like, oh my God, that's the best show we ever had. But it just keeps getting better and better and better. And I really love the message that you have, which is we're not alone. And we're not, you know, the dragons are a big, big part of this in my mind. They're a big, big part of this because when that energy entered toward the end of last year, there seems to be a huge shift. 11/11, the solstice in December, the beginning of the new year, and now we're heading into this. Well, we're in March, and March seems to be huge with this equinox coming up. You know, so may the dragons be with us, and as much as they're honored to be with us, we're honored that they're with us. And I'll just say that on everybody's behalf. Is there anything you can that you want to offer to us? There's so many people waking up now. So many people, so many practitioners have come on. I've said this over and over again since the first of the year. They're telling me that people are waking up. You know, there's so many people coming to me that are waking up and just coming to me. Is there any advice or any direction you could give anyone that's just waking up? And even those of us who have been awake and maybe not even think that we are awake enough, that you could give us from the dragons or from yourself, from your own perspective?
Well, as you say it too, I can say from my own experiences, just follow the voice in your heart. Follow what feels right to you, no matter how much people say, you know, it's not the right thing to do, or go by this or go by that. Just follow your instinct, follow the voice that guides you, and it will never fail you. It will take you exactly where you need to be. It may be challenging in the starting and it may not seem right. We got a confirmation there, I think.
Yeah,
it may
right.
not seem the right thing to do at that time when your whole world is changing and falling apart and you think you're going to die. You will not. It's the process of rebirth, and it's like from the cocoon to the butterfly.
Yeah.
So you have to die a few times in order to be born again.
Yeah.
And it's worth it. It's worth it. When you look back, there is so much gratitude for everything that played out the way it did.
Yeah.
Because had it not been that way, you would never ever know who you are. I would have never known my strength had I not been through the grinder, and had I not been, you know, through everything, the pain.
So,
it's worth it.
Do you know Christina?
We met through Facebook and we've talked.
Let's get her on Soul Speaks 5D. Introduce me to her.
Sure. Let's get her on. And also, I have another friend, Nalini, who is an artist. We need to get her on.
Anyone that you have, let's get them on, and let's just pick a day in April at the same time slot, early part of April, and just send me the message and say, this is the day, let's go on at the same time. Let's go ahead and set that up now. And Christina and your other friend and anyone else, let's get them on, because we need to share our experiences, because it does activate.
Nalini is in Thailand, so I'll send her a message and she can get in touch with you.
Yeah.
And Christina is listening to you right now, so she can do that.
Yeah.
And for me, you let me know however you're placed with your dates. I can take any day.
Just pick a day in early April at the same time
7th
slot.
April. 7th April. Is it too close? If not 7th, then 14th.
Send it to me in writing, because I'll never be able to remember. I don't have a pen. Right. But the 7th sounds good. 7th would be good.
7th is is strong.
Here, I'm gonna write
So
it out here.
we'll keep
7th
it 7th.
of April. Same time, right?
Same time, 11:30 this time. Yes.
Okay. 7th of April. Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing space with us, honoring us with your presence. Thank you for an incredible broadcast, and I look forward to collaborating with you in the future and your friends and anyone that you know.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all the work you do, and thank you to everyone listening and everyone in the future who will listen to this. Thank you. Love you all. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.